Hey guys, this is Darlene back with But Does It Really Work? And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about my experience. So my husband and I decided to take a deeper dive into this whole Amazon thing. I know it's all over the internet, all over YouTube. Everyone's talking about becoming a seller and how it can be very lucrative. So we did lots and lots of homework, did a couple of those webinars, the free ones. I think I did probably 4 webinars, and they're probably a good hour long. Did a lot of research online, watched YouTube videos. And after doing all that research, I felt pretty confident that this could be like a good passive income where you're just kind of earning money while you don't necessarily have to be on the clock to have money coming in. I don't know about getting rich and becoming a millionaire doing this. I mean, it's obviously possible, but I think that to start with, your revenue is going to be minimal, but I think that as time goes on and as you learn the system and you learn to read the trends, you could possibly get to the point where you're making very, very good income. I just think that it does take a little bit of time to get nuanced. As I'm sure you all have heard, there's lots of coaches out there that are charging lots of money. The one that I did, I watched a couple of seminars and then ultimately, in order to get started, to have somebody hold your hand, from the point of purchasing, working with the sellers, the manufacturers, and getting it to Amazon to be shipped to customers, they're going to charge you. And the first one that I was considering was going to be, I think, $3,500. And then the second one was going to be about $4,000. So, these people, I can't really say yes or no, yes, what they have is valuable or not, because I haven't done it. But I decided not to, because I just felt like, there's probably a chance that you might, you might stumble a little bit in the beginning. But if you start off with a low investment, I think it's worth going through it yourself and being able to learn as you go. And you have so many tools. As you can see here, even Amazon itself, you can go directly to the Amazon site and you can get information about how to start selling on Amazon, what the expectations are from the Amazon perspective, what the different options are. You can work with Amazon and fulfill your own packages to customers, or you can do fulfillment by Amazon, which most people do because it is the easiest way. You literally never touch the merchandise. You work with a seller, manufacturer. You get on a website like Alibaba, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. And you get online and you basically find your product. You do a bunch of research. You use apps like Jungle Scout to help you. I'm not gonna lie, you probably could get to the point where you can do all that without purchasing those things, but it's just gonna take you longer. You're gonna have to do a lot more research. There's gonna be a lot more time investment initially without those tools. So, ultimately, you can purchase your products, have them shipped directly to Fulfillment by Amazon. Amazon will store it in their warehouse, and then they just wait for the orders to come in. So when customers are browsing on Amazon, they see your product, they place an order. Amazon takes full responsibility for those when you go through Fulfillment by Amazon. So that means returns, that means damaged items, that everything is handled by Amazon. So it's just like if it was coming directly from Amazon. So Amazon's the one that does does the transaction with the customer. So ultimately the customer places the order, and Amazon is the one that goes and gets it, packages it up, ships it out to the customer. And if there's ever any issues with delivery, because Amazon will deal with it for you, so you don't ever have to get involved. So it's kind of neat. Of course, there's a charge. They charge a percentage of your sales, but from what I see, it seems reasonable. So I think that between working with Fulfillment by Amazon, taking advantage of these tools, there's lots of information, there's lots of videos, there's lots of webinars, there's lots of YouTubers that are doing all this blogging. And I think, all of that is very valuable information. And eventually, if you watch enough of them and you take notes and you're very studious and you do a lot of research, eventually you will get enough information to be able to go ahead and take a shot at this, because ultimately the hardest part of everything here is picking your product. That's the hard part. That's where we're at right now. And it's not as simple as we thought, because of course, we want to be careful with our investment. We want to make sure it's going to do well. So we're looking at all these different things, like, what items are high competition and high demand, low competition. So that just means I want to make sure the product that I'm selling has very few sellers on Amazon, and I want to make sure that there's a demand for it, that people are actually wanting those items. And that's one of the cool things that Jungle Scout does for you, is they help you determine which items are doing really well. And if you want, you can pick something yourself, but you don't have to. You can actually use the tools that are available online to have them give you some really good suggestions. So that's kind of where we are leaning right now. But as you can see, this is really cool. Amazon actually is very supportive of their Amazon sellers. And, they just spent $7.5 billion investing in more warehouses and staff. And I think that, this is expanding. COVID-19 has had, this is one area COVID-19 has had a positive impact, is that Amazon is expanding and there's more opportunities for sellers. It's kind of difficult for the small businesses because they're in competition with that. And that's difficult, but one way that those small businesses can continue to be competitive in this virtual market is to jump on Amazon and become an Amazon seller and put your products on there. So ultimately, we're going to start off with some products, that we can find on Jungle Scout, but the ultimate goal is that we're going to buy local. We're going to stay in New Mexico, find things in New Mexico that, are being handmade, things that are quality, things that are unique to our state, things that are being made by the hands of people who are entrepreneurs and trying to kind of reinvest in New Mexico and keep sustenance in the economy here. I mean, we can't solve all the economic issues with this one little business, but it's definitely something that it would be really cool if it caught fire and a trend developed around reinvesting in our community. So this is really neat because they have here's the jargon, and so you have some information there, probably some videos, I'm not sure about that one, that you can watch to start understanding what those things mean. You're going to hear words like ASIN and what is the other thing? The SKUs. You're going to hear things like drop shipping. There's definitely jargon, and it's helpful to get that down first. So if you're curious, I would suggest that you start on Amazon. Believe it or not, Amazon is very supportive and offers lots of products and training type of videos and slides and things that they can help you understand where your boundaries are, and even just the essentials on how to get started. So what I did want to share with everybody is that ultimately there was a lot more work up front than it seemed. I didn't really hear a whole lot of information from any of the seminars about the really tangible first steps, like getting your business registration. So FYI, as an Amazon seller, you are a business. You need to get registered just like if you were opening a shop somewhere locally. So the first thing you need to do is you have to go to the Department of Treasury, the IRS, and get yourself an EIN, a business tax identification number. So that's fairly easy. It's a pretty short form. You have to have some information about what you're planning to sell, what address it's going to be out of, even if it's an online business, you're working out of your home. And fill out that form, and you basically immediately, as soon as you fulfill that form, it's free, you will get a document with your identification number on it, and you're all set. That one part was really simple. So that's the first step. And then the second step is to go to your local, so the state tax and revenue, and get your business registration certificate from them. Now that one was $35, and that one is one that you definitely you need, because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you walk into a restaurant or a local store, you'll see up on the wall, like in a plaque, that there's like this little certificate that has the state of New Mexico stamp on it. That's necessary for you to operate, and that's also how you'll pay your taxes on your business. And then the next step is your business organization. And so for us, we did limited liability company. So then there you would go to the Secretary of State website. Same thing, fill out a form. That one costs $50, but you do immediately get that certification online. You can just print it out. So all of these were done online. That was really simple. And they ask pretty simple questions, but they do have a hotline you can call if you need help. So for us, we chose limited liability organization, and that is separate from your EIN, your business registration. That's a totally separate thing that you have to go and do to claim your organization as a limited liability, and also to claim your name. Once you finish that limited liability, the articles of organization, you actually claim your business name and nobody can steal it from you. So this is going to be put into the system in the state. And so when people are going to pick out a name for their business, if they type it in and it's your business name, they will be denied because the state will protect your name. So it's kind of like a protection for you. So that was neat. That was something I kind of learned on the fly. I was also needing to open a checking account for the business. So I needed all of those pieces, the tax and revenue, the IRS, and the limited liability from the Secretary of State in order to open that checking account for the business. So some of that stuff I learned on the fly. It was not expected. I thought I had my list, and there were several things that I wasn't expecting. I did do a business plan, and mostly the business plan, I'm working with a local coach at SCORE, which is an organization, nonprofit that helps entrepreneurs get their businesses started. So it's free, and it's a very valuable thing to be able to go sit down with a previous business owner or somebody who currently owns a business, and they'll give you feedback on what you're trying to do. So I'm working to give a very in-depth business plan to him so that he can steer us in the right direction. So we're working on both ends. We really want to make sure that as a business, we are doing the best that we can to be successful. And that's kind of separate from our online Amazon seller stuff. So those were the first steps: checking account, business registrations, limited liability, and the business plan is very helpful. If you do a business plan first, you can get one on score.com. It's very helpful for the rest of these documents. Once you have that organization of what you want to see your business lay out, like who's going to be an owner, who's going to be a signer on checking accounts, how much ownership, what percentage of ownership is each person going to have, all those things, it helps you. So if you do that first, it's going to help you with all this other stuff. So we decided our business name is Deo Goods, and basically the root of that word is a Nigerian word or phrase for joy arrives. My husband thought that was really neat, and that's what we decided to do. And so we got that all established. So we're officially a business. We got it. We are official. We've got everything we need. We've got business cards. We got all that out of the way. So the next step, let me get out of here, was to open our Amazon Seller Central account. So when you go in, you will first fill out a form. When you go into Amazon, you'll have to click on account, and then you'll see where it says business account. So then you'll go in there and you'll have to start yourself a brand new thing. It's separate from your personal. So you'll set up a business account, and then once you set up the business account, then you'll have the option to set up the Seller Central account, because you can have a business account without being a seller, because that you could just be a business that's buying things in bulk from Amazon or whatever. So then the Seller Central is where you become an Amazon seller. And let me tell you, they scrutinize, and I'm glad, because that means that all the people that we're buying from have been verified, have been reviewed thoroughly. They ask for copies of your bank statements, a copy of your ID front and back. They want all your information, your registrations. They ask for everything, and they actually have people who go through and verify all that information. And if they have questions, they reach out to you. And once they verify that you are a U.S. citizen and your business is here in the United States and all the other things that they want to make sure that you are legitimate, then you'll get approved, and then you'll get this thing. So you can start the process, but you won't see this page until they approve you. So I finally am approved, and you can see here, it's kind of like a dashboard. So once you actually start selling stuff on Amazon, you'll be able to see here, how many orders do I have? How many sales did I get today? Do I have any messages from buyers? What's my balance? So this balance is going to show me what my revenue is after Amazon has taken out their fees. Of course, taxes and all that kind of stuff is taken out. Then I get the remainder from each of my products that I sell. So this is going to be where I come to check, get a pulse on how my Amazon business is doing. So this is kind of step 2, and you can do some other modifications in here too, but I'm still learning all that stuff, but that's step 2. And then step 3 is figuring out what you're going to buy. Figuring out your product, doing your research. So I decided that I was going to, and I forgot to mention Amazon seller, to activate your Amazon seller account. I don't remember if it was the Amazon seller account or the business one. One of them, it was $39. I had to pay for that. So it's not free. There's an annual membership for that. And then I paid $39 also for this app called Jungle Scout. A lot of people use Jungle Scout. It's very, very intuitive. It's great. It's a great product. I know that a lot of people argue you can do this stuff on your own. Just get on Amazon. Amazon has trackers and they have tools to tell you how products are doing. But you know what? I don't got time for all that. So I paid $39 for Jungle Scout. And hey, if I decide that I get so good at this I don't need it, I can cancel it later on. It's not a contract that you have to continue with it. And what you can do here is you can either search for particular products based on the company you want to sell with, or maybe there's a particular type of product, and you can do a search and then see how it's doing on Amazon, or you can get them to give you some suggestions. So what you can do here is you can say, okay, I want to sell beauty and personal care. Or baby products. Baby products are just always a good way to go. Everywhere I went, everybody has said baby products are a very good product. Of course, you want to find the perfect niche where you don't have like this massive competition on the product you choose. So you still need to do some homework, but baby products are always a good choice. So you can pick that. And then if you wanted to, like if you wanted a whole bunch of stuff to come up and just different health and household, home and kitchen, whatever, you can go through and select as many of these as you want, but I'm particularly interested in baby products. Here, you're going to say, I just want standard size, because of course, the bigger, the heavier, the more expensive to ship. And then I'm going to be doing fulfillment by Amazon. So I'm going to check that. And then all these filters right here, this is what helps you narrow down where you want to be. So I don't want to sell anything less than $25 because I want my profit margin to be wide, because I'm not going to be able to afford to do a huge lot. If I could do a huge lot, then you can go cheaper because you'll eventually get your revenue up. But the best thing to do is to pick something between $25 and $50. That way you can start with a smaller batch and still see a healthy revenue. Reviews, believe it or not, you want few reviews. You don't want to go after a product with 45,000 reviews. That means you're going to have high competition on that product. So really, you want between 5 and about 50 reviews. Some people say even lower than that, but I think it's making it kind of steep to say you want less than 50. And then some of these other things like the ratings, of course, you want a product that's rating between 4 and 5. You don't want a low rating product. And then some of this other stuff, I don't know too much. I'm still learning. Here, the weight, definitely we want to do a maximum on the weight. We don't want anything more than 5 pounds. Like I said, that's going to add to your shipping, and it's going to add to your warehouse storage fees with Amazon, so you don't want that. And the sales, all this other stuff like this, I know I don't even understand it, but I know you want a high number. So let's say we want to get between No, that's too low. Let's say 7 and 10. 10 is the highest, and that's a good thing. I'm not even sure still what that means. You want to exclude top brands, not a good market for a beginner. Hit search. And automatically it's going to pull up all these products that are doing well right now within those categories that you're picking. So let's say, okay, I like this 2-pack jersey fitted cotton crib sheet set. It's the anchor print. Okay, so we can see here that this is the, let's see, what is this? Monthly revenue. So this guy's making $2,200, $2,280 a month. This one is monthly sell, so they're selling about 57 of them a month. And then this here, it tells you, okay, you sell it for $39. Amazon's going to charge you $10.90, so that's going to be after all your charges and fees. So you're going to come out with $29 a pop. That's what's going to be deposited into your account. So this tells you, okay, this is a pretty good product. That's a healthy profit. And the ranks, I still honestly don't even know what that means, but we for the reviews, they're a little higher, and we want it to be on the lower end, but 48 is right up at the top, so it's going to be a little bit steeper, but it doesn't mean that it's not still a good option. It's a 7 on the LQS, which 10 is the highest, so it's pretty good. So basically you can see here, look, this is how many people are selling it on Amazon. So we only have like one person, or what? Well, how many people? 2. Yeah, so that's great. That's low competition right there. That's good. It's got a 4.4 rating. That's good. And it's £1 each. So that's perfect. So you can see like how you can, play with that and just find your product and say, okay, that's it. I'm going to get that product. That's great. So what's next then? You find the product, you know what you want to do. Now I will let you know that here you can find suppliers for the products that you want here, but it's a little more tricky, and I'm not that hip to it yet. But you can look by product. So that product we were looking at, it probably had an ASIN, which is basically like a SKU number for Amazon that's specific to Amazon. You could put that in here and look for a seller who does that. That's one way. The other way is Alibaba. And I do have an Alibaba account. That's another thing that I paid $35 for. That's $35 a month. Alibaba is one of the most popular sites to find sellers. And right now it's Super September. They gear up for the holiday season, and they start running great sales. This is a really good time to get started. Because you'll get, as a new buyer, it says right here, up to $60 in transaction fees waived on the first 3 orders. So this is really cool. But Alibaba, basically what I could do is I can take that product that I see is doing really good on Amazon, what we just saw on Jungle Scout, and then I can come here and search for it. And then when I find that, it's going to show me all of the sellers that are available that I can reach out to get a sample. So let's see, baby crib bedding. I can probably get some more information so I can get that exact one. No, I don't want that. But just so that you know, you can look through Alibaba, and if you find the bedding set that you're looking for, you just go, okay, contact supplier, I'm sorry. And you can send them basically a request for a quote. Or you can just say, you know what, I want a sample. Can you send me one? I want one of these. I want to touch it and feel it and make sure it's good quality before I go buy a lot. Some of them will say yes, some of them will say no, and that's okay. You can just move on to the next person. As you can see, they're rated. So Alibaba does rate their sellers. So this one's verified, and they're in, what is that? Canada. But anyways, you can look into the seller and figure out more about who they are and how good they've been, how quick have they sent the shipments. Like you want a good supplier who's going to be responsive. Like, hey, I need this, you said 7 days. How accurate are they? at getting it to Amazon within 7 days. So, that's where this really comes in handy, because it'll help you to feel safe, that buyers trust this seller, that buyers are getting what they need and what they were told they were going to get. And that they've been around a while. They're not this new company that sprung up, and who knows if you'll ever see your products. That's going to be scary. So you can see here, like, this one's been around for 16 years. So they're a gold supplier. So it's really good because you get a lot of information. Like here you can see this one's only a year old. It's only been on here for a year. And so once you actually start looking at the suppliers, you'll see more in-depth information about them. But ultimately, this is where you can really solidify your product. You can say, okay, I want this one. This is what I want. And you can actually just place an order directly from here. You can just say, okay, I know what I want. I want the blue one. I'm going to go ahead and start my order and, see what the minimum order supply they need you to purchase before they can sell it to you. Some of them, have minimums. You can only buy 50, you can only buy 100. It just depends. And even though some of them say that, you can talk to them and negotiate. So a lot of them are very receptive, and they'll say, okay, I'll meet you halfway. So you're a new seller. So you can see this one here. Their response rate when people reach out to them is 90.2%. Really good. On-time deliveries, 94.1%. That's pretty good too. They're a gold supplier. That means that Alibaba backs them up, and they've only been in for a year, but they seem to be moving a lot of products, and they're doing well. So that's really helpful. And I think the last most important thing to mention is that Alibaba has an assurance program that protects your money. So if you pay through Alibaba, the company, you're protected. So if you don't get your products, they're gonna reimburse you, and so they're gonna help you. And so they help to protect you with your investment, that you're going out and you're taking a chance sending money to somebody probably in China, or in this case, I don't know, it could be Canada, it could be anywhere. There's people from all over the world on here, and even here in the United States, you can purchase from US here too. And they make sure that you have some kind of reassurance that, hey, what if I send this person $1,000 and I don't ever get my product? If you do this on your own independently with these people, there's no hope for you. Like if they take your money, that's it. But if you work through Alibaba, you're protected. You can get with Alibaba and say, hey, they didn't send me my products, and Alibaba will pursue that. And if they can't fix it, they will reimburse you your money. So this is a really good $39, I think, to invest in your business. This is another place that you can kind of look around and see what kind of products you would like. They have some information too that helps you understand like how much is being sold and things like that, but it's not going to give you as much information as Jungle Scout. So this is kind of the next step, is solidifying and placing your order. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have a huge investment. I'm not starting out that high. My first purchase is probably going to be between $500 and $800. And I'm hoping to see, maybe about $1,300 revenue on that if I sell everything and I do well. So that's why we're being really careful about the products we choose. But I don't have a huge investment. And I know that's a lot of times what people are worried about, is like, well, how much money am I going to need? And if you go onto one of those webinars that are all over the internet, they're going to tell you, oh, you need $5,000, $6,000 to get started. But you know what you'll find out? That 90% of that money is going to them. It's because they're including their fees to train you and to coach you. And so really the remainder that you're actually investing in your company is like $800 to $1,000, and the rest is theirs. So, if you have the money, like, I think I would have done it. Like, if I had $5,000 laying around, I probably would have done it, just because it would have made this whole thing much easier to just have somebody there by your side and saying, okay, what do I do next? Okay, what do I do next? Okay, is this a good product? Will this do well? What is your insight? What is your experience? Of course, that's awesome. Of course anybody would want that, but I just don't think it's worth that much. Like, that's just it's my personal opinion that, $3,000-$4,000, that's a lot of money for nuance. You're paying for nuance for somebody who's figured it out. And I think there's enough information between these apps and Amazon and YouTube and whatever else and the free webinars that are available that you could get, to the point where you feel confident to get started. So the last thing is I did start a website. Basically the plan is to have a twofold business. One side of it is the Amazon seller. We're Amazon sellers selling things on Amazon, and we're getting them from all over the world, wherever, we find the best products. But the other half is going to be a New Mexico focus. We want to focus on New Mexico. We want to reinvest in our state. We're going through some of the hardest economic times we have ever seen. And, whatever we might be able to do, even if it's not huge, we hope maybe we'll cause a ripple effect. Maybe other sellers will start looking to New Mexico for things to sell. We have a lot of great things in New Mexico. One of those things is coffee. And, some of the things that we're hoping to get started on is, specialty coffees, being able to brand some coffees, get some special roasts from local roasters in New Mexico, and be able to make our own blends and start our own line. And ultimately, we would still be supporting local business, New Mexico business. And that's the hope, and that we'll be doing that through this website. We'll sell it on Amazon too, but we'll also have this local website where we can sell through here out of our home. So lastly, of course, you guys know I got my YouTube channel up, and this is where you guys are watching this. But ultimately, what we hope to do is use that as a platform for the products that we're selling. So, we're kind of pulling a bunch of things all together. So it's taking us a little bit longer to get started. But I think ultimately it's going to pay off to have a twofold side to the business. So, we'll definitely be updating that. We'll definitely be updating you guys on where we're at with that. So, I just wanted to give everybody kind of a synopsis of what we've gone through so far and some of the things that maybe you aren't getting from those other seminars and things that are online. So ultimately, where we are right now is choosing our product. So that's where we're stuck right now. It's picking a product and just making sure that it's going to be the best product that we can possibly do. We want to make sure that, it's not even about getting rich. It's about safety. It's about having a safe product that's going to get us the income that, at least making a revenue. We don't want to be in a situation where it's a wash. We don't want to be in a situation where we lose. If we make some revenue off of it, that's going to be positive. And we're going to learn so much through this first step. And once we launch the first product, I think that everything else the veil's gonna lift, and we're gonna be like, oh, okay, all right, we got it. We understand how this works now. We can do this. So, we'll keep you guys posted. Right now we're just trying to pick our product. We are looking at baby products. So we're doing this thing on Jungle Scout where you can do a product tracker. So it'll give you information about how certain products are doing. So we picked 3 baby products, and we can get information about how the products are doing. And like this one, we have, let's see, my screen is glitching. But basically it'll tell you how much revenue that product is making. It'll show you the trends. If it's a product and a business that just came on, it won't have very much information, and they tell you to kind of stay away from those. You don't want trends. You don't want trending things. Like right now, face masks are trending. You're going to see a decline in that. Once everybody has 100 masks laying around the house, eventually there's going to be a decline. So we probably want to stay away from those kinds of products, but we definitely know that some of these other like baby products, they're always going to be in demand. And, some of these have been on here for 10 years and they have lots and lots of data. And so we've been able to check out that data and say, oh, okay, this has been doing good for several years now. Like they have, here's one where you can see that where you can see it's pretty consistent. There's some dips, but then the next month it goes up again. That's what you want to see. You want to see that there's consistency over the last month, and that there's not like, oh, we just have this one spike this one month. Those ones are the scary ones. You want consistent, maybe not to get rich, but that you're going to have consistent, safe revenue. So I know I have given you guys so much information already, but I just wanted to share a little bit of what we've been going through and what we've seen, and ultimately it is possible. It's possible. Being an Amazon seller, it's real. It's a real thing. You can definitely get into this and make some passive income, whether you want to just do a little something here and there while you're still working another job, or if you want to really invest and try to turn this into your business. That's something that can definitely happen. It's real. So that's probably the first thing I want to do is make sure that people know this is a real opportunity. It's not a gimmick, and I think that the gimmicks really are coming from people that are just charging tremendous amounts of money to help you get started, and that's where the gimmick is. The Amazon part, 100% legit, and Amazon offers so much support that really, that lets you know that they're interested in getting behind sellers and they want more sellers, and they want to support you and make sure you're successful, because ultimately it makes them successful. So I will update you guys when we get some traction. Once we pick a product and we really start to see how it does, I'll report back to you guys and let you know how it's going, and whether we made a very bad decision or a great decision, or maybe a meh decision. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much. I really appreciate appreciate all the support. I hope you found this helpful. If there's any questions I might be able to answer for you, feel free to reach out to me in the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and we will see you next time. Thank you.